Hi, welcome to SCW, the wrestling channel here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video to subscribe right now. Leaving the comments in the comments section, like and share the video, hit the bell on top for all updates on this channel as and when videos are released. Now, I'm sorry I didn't bring a video on this yesterday, but unfortunately was very busy with work. Thankfully, there's been further update today on Seth Rollins, so I can give you everything under one report. WWE has announced that Seth Rollins will not be at this weekend's WWE live events due to the injury that he suffered at the hands of Samoa Joe this past Monday on Raw. It's also been revealed that a full medical update will be given on Monday's episode of Raw, so we will learn the full extent of Seth Rollins' condition. It remains unknown. It goes on the quote by WWE.com, but they can confirm that the WWE champion has not been cleared to compete at WWE live events this weekend. A full medical update will be given this Monday night on Raw. Now, it has been reported via ringsidenews.com that Rollins has suffered a torn MCL, is expected to be out of action for around 8 weeks. Of course, we'll hear if there's any update from that this week on Raw. So there is a chance Seth Rollins could be around for WrestleMania season. It's not all gone that he will not be at WrestleMania. But of course, if he is to return, it's 8 weeks this Sunday till WrestleMania, so he would be back literally days, before WrestleMania if he's to be cleared. Now, if he actually comes back earlier than expected, that would be fantastic. He'd definitely be okay. But would WWE risk putting him in so close to WrestleMania? They would need to make the reshuffle now if they were going to do it. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to give you an update on the Rumoured WrestleMania card because I'm not in favour with this card. I don't think it's a great card looking at it, and I'm going to explain why very shortly. So I'm going to go through this WrestleMania card that's been brought by ringsidenews.com. To start off with, they reckon that it's going to be a Universal Championship match between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. Why, oh why, would the Universal Championship be put on either of these part-timers is beyond me. The match does not need a championship at WrestleMania. It was good enough as it was. You could have given this Universal Championship spotlight to Kevin Owens or someone else who perhaps could benefit from this on a future WrestleMania and being seen as more of a star name. Now we've got two part-timers with the belt once again. WWE's tried and tested of going for the old school, old-timers, and then it comes to the next WrestleMania where they need to call these guys once again because they don't believe that these new guys have enough star power. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not a fan of this whatsoever. Personally, for me, I understand Goldberg has got a big reaction since coming back into WWE, and perhaps that's why I think it would be kind of cool to put the Universal Championship on him going into Mania. We know Brock would win on this particular final encounter as well. So for me, really, that means then, is the belt going to take another 6-month vacation if Brock Lesnar holds it? I'm not in favour of this at all. I'm hoping that something is done where there's a number one contender made, and perhaps even if this is remotely true, then the night after WrestleMania, maybe a Money in the Bank could be brought back in early, even though it's got its own pay-per-view, and that way someone could cash in on one of these two in a very vulnerable state. Then obviously Brock could take his highness, or Goldberg could go into the sunset, and we could have someone getting a chance of some spotlight and take the championship further into the summer. But personally, that's just my point of view on that, and a big grievance with that matchup having a championship on the line. I'm not in favour of that at all. As well as that WWE Championship, of course, they're expecting Bray Wyatt as the champion to take on Randy Orton. I've said this in previous times on previous videos that I expect Bray Wyatt will win in the Elimination Chamber. Of course, you have to take all this with a pinch of salt, by the way, because this may not be true. It may change going forward. So not to say that this definitely is going to be the card, by the way. But the Raw Women's Championship could be seen Charlotte versus Bayley versus Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. I understand they've all faced one-on-one, so they need to do something to make this kind of work. For me, I want to see Bayley versus Sasha Banks, a heel Sasha Banks, which is rumoured to be on the cards via ringsidenews.com. I think that would be kind of cool to see Sasha on the heel side, but then there's no faces to go with Bayley on Raw. It's just a face Bayley and a lot of heels, so I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing going into WrestleMania season. And of course, if it was Bayley versus Sasha, then Charlotte needs someone to face, and like we said, there's a lack of faces, so perhaps this would be the right way going forward. And of course, Charlotte perhaps should lose her 100% pay-per-view record when it comes to WrestleMania. I think that's the best time for that to happen. As well as that, Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. I would have gone with Cena versus Undertaker myself personally, but we can see that the groundwork has already been put in for this. Seth Rollins versus Triple H if he is fit. There has also been, with the topic of Triple H, rumours suggested on WrestleZone.com that if that does not happen, according to PW Insider, it does suggest that there has been discussions that would see Triple H take on Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. I would be in favour of this because it's Raw versus SmackDown, and of course the brand split. they're supposed to be rivals, and they seem to have just forgotten this rivalry all of a sudden. Triple H versus Shane McMahon was a long time ago, a rumour that a match that could happen. I'd personally be in favour of it because I'm not in favour of what is on ringsidenews.com of Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles. Why put AJ Styles in this sort of match? It doesn't make sense. For me, I'm just not a favour of that whatsoever. I want to see Styles in a 5-star calibre match. And when we go on later to see that there's no names like Dean Ambrose, Sami Zayn on this list whatsoever, then why not? I mean, Samoa Joe is currently not on this list either. So why not? There are suggestions on this WrestleZone that it could be Triple H versus Samoa Joe in exchange. Now, there would be a lot of groundwork, and perhaps this could work because it could turn into a triple threat if Seth Rollins was to become fit in time for WrestleMania. So that could kind of work in one way. But then who would be the face? I don't see who would be the face from this. I mean, Triple H would want Seth Rollins taken out. Samoa Joe, I mean, as the Destroyer, he did seem quite a badass heel there on Raw and has seemed pretty heelish on Twitter. I like the way it's going with Samoa Joe, so I wouldn't want to see him become a face either. So you can't see a heel versus heel scenario. Moving on anyway, back to ringsidenews.com for the rest of this WrestleMania card. Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. No mention of the United States Championship. Now, I want the US Championship involved on this if Kevin Owens is not the Universal Champion. I've already said about AJ Styles and Shane McMahon how I just don't feel in favour of that whatsoever. John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice. Now, there's no mention of the SmackDown Women's Championship at all. No Alexa Bliss is on here. No Becky Lynch. But apparently Maurice, who has not wrestled, could be involved. And Nikki Bella, who, of course, is expected to be on the WrestleMania card. The Big Show versus Shaquille O'Neal. Again, an attraction match. We know this one's going to happen already. I'm not in favour of it. I've said that many times over the last few months. And the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which perhaps is going to feature the likes of Sami Zayn, Dean Ambrose, Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler. You know, the list goes on and on. Rusev. There's a lot of names there that could be used for this WrestleMania card to elevate them for future WrestleManias that WWE doesn't need to use these part-timers. And there's also, where is the room for Finn Balor? There was no mention of Finn Balor on that card at all yet. Now, for an update on Finn Balor via ringsidenews.com, it has been reported that Finn Balor was evaluated over the weekend to the Royal Rumble event, and speculation if he would be cleared or not, it was fueled that a lot of references he would be actually making himself the number 30 on social media. Now, Dave Meltzer has reported that he was not cleared. His target date for his return was always said to be late February and early March. So he's expected to be in WrestleMania in some capacity, but unknown to who his scheduled opponent might be for the event. And it is potential that he may not even be considered at all as a surprise entry for the Royal Rumble, as the time frame is always late February and early March. Now, the injury suffered from that powerbomb to Balor from the barrier from Seth Rollins at SummerSlam was a labyrinth tear, a torn bicep, a fractured glenoid neck socket, shoulder cartilage damage, and a torn pec, to name a few there. So a long list there that Balor overcome to finish that match and win the Universal Championship. So, I mean, fair play to Balor, and he is seeming like he will be on the WrestleMania card. For me, I'd like to see him in a match actually against, I guess, who's not listed on there, maybe Sami Zayn. I think that would be a show-stealing match on a WrestleMania card. There's no 205 mention either there, no Cruiserweight Championship match for that WrestleMania card. I just think there's a lot of holes. There's no ladder match, which of course we've seen a lot of ladder matches over the time. Maybe we don't need to see it again, but there's just a lot of stars being left off that card. And does that mean they're all going to be relegated to the pre-show? I'm just not in favour of this card. I'm past the idea of these part-timers being used in WrestleMania. I understand you need some big marquee matches. Goldberg versus Lesnar already has the story, already has it all. It doesn't need a championship. The Undertaker, okay, I understand that. Personally, I would have given John Cena. I would have had Roman Reigns as the Universal Champion going into WrestleMania. Now, I know that's probably going to be an unpopular decision, but him against Finn Balor, I think would have been a great match to have seen, a WrestleMania caliber match, to see Balor come back and try and win that championship. I think it would make sense. Kevin Owens, all right, it's understandable he was going to drop the belt, but the United States Championship could still be involved with him and Jericho. But where is Dean Ambrose? Where is Sami Zayn? Where is Rusev? You know, there's a lot of names there just missing. Baron Corbin, who eliminated Braun Strowman. Strowman's not even mentioned there either. I mean, is he going to be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? For me, there's just a lot of big names that have been built so well going into Mania that don't seem to be put on that card. I am in favour of Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton, providing Bray Wyatt walks away as the champion, just to say that very clearly. But that's me. Enough of me moaning. That's the card there. I could probably go on for hours talking about this because I'm not massively a big fan of this card so far. But I'd like to know what you think of this rumoured card If it does happen, would you be in favour of it? Let me know in the comments below. Now, hit the bell on the top for updates as then when they're brought. I'm sure I'm going to give you an update or two on the weekend. But that's everything for SCW, the wrestling channel here on YouTube.com. I'm going to go and calm down for you now, and I'll see you next time. Take care and enjoy yourselves. And, make sure to subscribe right now.